Why do you have 72 chins? What are you doing? That's not a nice look.
What are you talking about? Why are you chin shaming me?
I don't know.
What is happening, everybody? It's Sunday live haul. Sunday live haul. It also is the tragic day that Vikki, aka Victoria, when she wants to be taken seriously, aka Sad Saddy Pants, aka my fiance, lost her phone.
I did.
Yeah.
She somehow
lost her phone's gone. She's already talking about I don't have insurance on it. You guys, we haven't left the house.
It's in the house.
The phone is in the house. She's talking about how it doesn't have insurance on it. The phone is in the house. It is somewhere in the house. It's one of those things where it's going to be somewhere really stupid, like in a cupboard, or
it's going to be like in the refrigerator. Yeah, I don't know.
Something like I literally looked in the drawers in the refrigerator because I'm like, it's going to have to be. We can't figure it out. I'm trying to help her retrace steps, but apparently she only moved in a 3-foot radius.
Seriously, check the oven. I haven't even been near the oven. Do you think I cook? I don't know what happened. I haven't left the house.
Yeah, and her ringer's not on.
I used it this morning.
All right,
the ringer's not on.
Grandma, we're gonna have to get you one of those little things that you attach to it.
I need to put it around my neck on my bingo
board.
No,
they have those things that you attach to it that like you can like hit a button and it'll tell you where it is or something like that.
I think I need to wear it in a pouch around my neck like the old ladies do at bingo.
I don't know.
I'm officially old and senile, I guess. I don't know.
Allison says we should check the sour cream container.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. The only problem with that means it's probably in the garbage, right? So that means we have Vikki's.
You have my undivided
attention for the show. She will not be looking at the Facebook, the Instagram. She will only be paying attention to how irritated she is with me at any given time.
Exactly.
So it's great.
No, I do not have Alexa, and I didn't check any I didn't do any packaging today, so it's definitely not in a package. But
it's gonna be somewhere weird. We'll keep you guys posted. I'm sure it's gonna turn out somewhere really stupid.
No idea where it is.
Where it's gonna be like, what?
Haven't left the house.
On a shelf somewhere.
Haven't been near the couch. That's the thing. I've only been in my office and in the living room because I've been listing and getting ready for the show. I've been in 2 rooms the whole time. I don't know where the frick it went.
Cool Casual Vibe says that I hit it and I will find it after the show. How dare you?
It's possible.
How dare? Actually, I wouldn't put it past me, but I will say I did not do that. Because then I have to spend a bunch of my day pretending to look for her phone when really I'm actually looking for her phone because I have no idea where she put it. I try to ask her questions like where she was, and she's like, I don't know, I don't remember, which is really helpful. Yeah. So I was looking under cushions.
The senility sets in real young, guys. I'm telling you, once you hit 45, it's all downhill.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from there. I don't know what to tell you.
I got a good few years
We've
left
checked all the bathrooms. We have 3 bathrooms. Checked all 3 of the bathrooms. Yeah. I have no idea where the frig it is.
Well, I had to stop looking to come set up for the show, so I will. I'll go back to looking after the show, but it is going to be somewhere real weird. It's going to be somewhere real weird. I promise. And we will let you guys know. We'll put an alert out that will go to everybody's phones at the same time. We're coordinating with the state government alert system. So
yeah, find Vikki's phone.
Anyway, geez. I did check the phone, Nate, or the fridge. But yeah, it's gonna be somewhere stupid. Anyway, so that's our exciting thing going on today.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're just working. We've had between our trip to Phoenix last week, coming back with everything that we sourced, which let me tell you, if you follow Vikki on Instagram or you're in the boss group, you've seen the pictures of like how literally stuffed our car was. Like it's no joke.
I literally left behind 2 mugs. Yeah. 3 mugs with Teresa because there was nowhere to put mugs. That's how packed it was.
Yeah. We there was one other time that we went to Phoenix and we had so much stuff that we borrowed Teresa's roof rack, but there was still room. Like I was convinced that had I tried a little hard, I could have fit everything in the car. This time we used the roof rack again from Teresa and literally the car was filled to the tippy top. There was no space left whatsoever. Because after last week's show, we'll talk about it more in a little bit. After last week's show, we went and did one last sourcing stop and ended up with hundreds of items. So we are jam-packed. So came home, unpacked everything, sorted it all, did listing this week. I did photographs this week, and then yesterday, which normally Saturdays are day off.
I did photographs this week.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you did. Yeah, sorry, you did. Normally Saturday is our day off, but what did we do yesterday?
Taxes.
We did our taxes. We do our taxes separately, obviously. We're not married and we have separate businesses, but we just decided that we would dedicate a day to just doing our taxes, and that was yesterday. And which is great because like last year, if you guys remember, I was behind a few years on my taxes because it happens. And it was basically the first few years of me being self-employed, and I just kept putting it off.
Mm-hmm.
And then, thanks to the magnificent and awesome Mark II of Not Your Dad's CPA last year, he whipped me into shape.
He did.
And that was when you started using his services last year as well.
Yep.
And so this year, you know, we both did we had the extension to the July, but you know,
October.
We had the extension till July.
Countrywide,
we still took advantage of the extra extension, but we needed to get it done, and so we did that yesterday.
And they're due October 15th, and they're already there and with the accountant. I am so proud of us.
Yeah,
and we got it all done in one day.
Yeah, well, it was funny because she was like dreading it, and she's like, I don't want to do it. I don't even know where to start.
Is anybody else like me? Like, do you dread paperwork and taxes? Does it hang like this big thing over your head right before tax time? Because I know that we're not all like Teresa, aka Numbers Geek. Not all of us do weekly or monthly accounting and reconciling of our paperwork, right? I mean, that's the reality. Not everybody is wired that way. I know I'm not. I know that I'm always going to have an extension. I know that I'm always going to go to the last minute. It's just who I am. Yeah. It is the last thing I want to pay attention to. I keep track of all my stuff throughout the year in a big bin. Don't get me wrong. It's all there, but I don't do anything with it.
Well,
so I hate the paperwork, and it's so bad. I think everybody dreads paperwork to a certain degree, but I hate it. It's like this big thing over my head all year until it's time to do the taxes. I felt such relief to her. It's funny. I was so relieved after I got everything done and sent to the accountant that I was like giddy last night almost. It's silly.
This is what's so ridiculous about it though, you guys, because we both use, I mean, it's going to be a little bit different this year because of managed payments and everything switching over, but we both use GoDaddy, sync up our PayPal with GoDaddy, and then and pretty much because we both use like our PayPal, or at least up until managed payments, all of our money, most of our money was coming through PayPal, and that's where we spent. We would pretty much do all of our expenses through our PayPal cards and PayPal accounts. So that makes it a lot easier. So the reality is, what I was going to say is that she was like kind of having a little freak out like day before yesterday, and then we went and had breakfast with some friends, and she was just so getting ready to like have a nervous breakdown and not even knowing where to start. So me being the one who is the calming one, I was like, it basically said start. I mean, she's done her taxes before a million times, guys. And not that we just prepare our stuff and hand it off, but she was like kind of freaking out. So I had to like calm her down and say, here,
step by step,
focus on this first, forget about the rest of it. Just do one piece at a time. And literally 3.5, 4 hours later, we were done because we had all this stuff where it was easily accessible and already pretty much sorted out. And then the great thing about Mark II, if you guys haven't done your taxes yet or need to know for future reference, Not Your Dad's CPA, what's so awesome about him is that he uses this, he calls it his tax organizer, and it's basically an Excel spreadsheet with multi-page spreadsheet. And you just go in, and once you have all your stuff, you just enter in
where you plug in all the numbers, and then your taxes are done in like 2 days. I mean, honestly, if you don't, and this is not necessarily just a plug for Mark, but if you do not follow him, first of all, he has a YouTube channel, which is brand new, but he also has a Facebook page. He has a Facebook group, and we've also done a couple of shows with him in the past. If you search through our history of shows, anyway, he's fantastic. He's very affordable. He is a reseller himself and a CPA, so he has a certain niche of doing taxes for resellers, and he's fantastic. I used to the same guy for 12 years, and I was convinced it was great because he was cheap and he did everything and he knew my business. And I finally switched to Mark last year, and he's still really cheap for what he does. And
you saved way more money.
I saved a lot more money. Anyway, he's really good.
I'm gonna say this is a plug for Mark. An
unsolicited plug because we do pay for his services. So I don't want to say like he doesn't do our taxes for free or anything like that.
I'm saying unsolicited plug because
it's
really awesome.
So Bridget asked real quick, do I make estimated quarterly tax payments? Yes, I do. Not everybody does. I do make estimated quarterly tax payments. I haven't done it every year, to be fair. And then I pay my penalty and my interest for filing late and filing extension. It's honestly the few $100s that costs me is worth it for me. And I know that everybody feels that way. So,
Yeah, definitely, Mal. Definitely look him up. It's not your dad's CPA. He really is awesome. He knows his stuff, and he's really fast because he, like a nerdy accountant, he's got it down to a science. He has you fill out this multi-page spreadsheet, and then I'm sure he has all.
Tommy, we do have a couple of videos with Mark talking about how to do it. Obviously not going to do a video with all of our receipts and everything because honestly,
you don't want to see that.
We give you enough of our information. It's nobody's business.
And us figuring out, pulling everything together for our taxes. We're in no way experts. We struggle through it just like everybody else does. We talk about this all the time when we do talk about taxes and stuff like that. When it comes to what we do with our business of reselling, we are very good. We consider ourselves to be pretty good at sourcing, at selling, knowing what to buy, what to sell, how to make
good money,
good money on selling. But when it comes to the business side of like taxes and stuff, we're not the experts. We are not.
Yeah. Don't be following us on how to do your taxes. Don't be following us on how to do inventory or have an inventory management system. We are a do as we say, not as we do. When it comes to that, honestly, there are way better people to follow for that type of minutia because we're just not those people. Like I said, I have 3,200 items in my store. I can tell you exactly where every single item is, but there is absolutely no inventory system. And Katie's the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Bridget. Yeah. So,
but anyway, we've had basically a very eventful, productive week. But it was really funny though because she was so freaking out, and then I'm not even joking. Less than 4 hours later, we were both done. We both got done at pretty much the same time, and I think a lot of that does have to do with how Mark.
It's totally
the guidance that he gives of what, because you don't have to worry about it. Like you just know, okay, if I fill all this out,
it's the right information.
It's everything that he needs. And
I can't wait until I shouldn't say I can't wait until next year. I will say that I may not do the extension next year because honestly, now that I know how much faster and easier that it was this time versus all the other years I've done it, because I use his system, I might actually file my taxes by April 15th for 2020. I don't know.
You're talking crazy now. No, I agree. I totally agree. It's silly to wait so long. Now, does this mean that we should put in a system to actually take care of this on like a weekly or monthly basis?
No.
That's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. I'm willing to pretend it doesn't exist for another year and then take an afternoon to put it all together in a feverish, rushed method.
Yeah. Real quick, and then we can get into the actual show itself. Darlene asked, "Do you need to have Excel to use Mark's system?" No, it's a downloadable Excel spreadsheet that he's already created.
It's actually in Google Docs is the form that he gives it to you. So when you download it from his site, it actually takes you to a Google Docs site, and then I download it to an Excel spreadsheet. But
it doesn't have to be. You don't need to have an Excel program to use it.
Anyway,
because it's not actually calculating the amounts for you. It's basically just pages of information or slots where like he's asking questions, you're going to put the information in. So,
and I don't know if you said this because I was too busy paying attention to myself, but did you say Mark, did you tell them about Mark starting a YouTube channel?
I did.
Okay.
He just started a YouTube channel, and I'm shocked that he hasn't done one sooner.
I'm assuming it's called Not Your Dad's CPA?
It is. And he also has a program, and we'll probably talk about this again when we get closer to tax time, like next year. I'm sure we'll have Mark on again.
We're just here to toot our procrastinating horns, okay?
Yeah,
so whatever.
He has a program called the Reseller Tax Academy, which is actually fantastic. Mm-hmm. And for numbers geeks, it's a big deal. So anywho, let's move on. But it's such a relief to be done with that, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And then we get to find out how much we owe.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And then we got to pay that. But
nobody likes writing the check, but it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so
Tracy asked, is it at least $25,000 a year? No, it's $1. It's $1, Tracy. You know, that's something you might want to watch some of our other videos on that, because we've answered that question a few times with Mark. Anything that you sell that you did not already own, that you are not selling out of your own home, the moment you make $1 profit, you have to claim the taxes on it.
Yeah. People get hung up on the whole thing of like, oh, PayPal doesn't send you a 1099 until you make a certain amount of money. It doesn't really matter. All the income is taxable. And so
you have to be keeping track. Even if PayPal does not send you a 1099, you're still liable for taxes on that money.
Yes, absolutely. So that is just the way it works. All right.
Jacob says, you make $1, Uncle Sam gonna holler. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so so this is our Sunday show, Sunday Live Haul. We break it into 3 parts. The first part, we go over our real numbers for the week, our gross numbers, our gross numbers, and then we give you a breakdown of like our major costs, particularly the cost of goods, which of course are the most important thing for you guys to know, to give you some sort of context of how we're actually doing when it comes to what we are buying and selling. So we'll go over that. And then the second half of our show, the middle part of our show, we look at our sales highlights, some of the cool things that we sold over this last week, some of the fun things. Basically what that means is Vikki sends me 20 million things that she sold, and then I have to try and find enough to match hers.
I think I sent you
an
12.
Asshole. She sent me 11, so that was all right. So, but 2 I could group into 1, so I was able to cheat and only come up with 10 of my own. Jerk. And then the last part of the show is we show some of the cool things that we found this last week of sourcing. And so, of course, like I said, we did pick up a bunch of stuff right after last week.
We'll tell you a little bit about that.
We will. Get there too. So we have some cool stuff, and so I scored some stuff. She scored some stuff. I also did some online buys and some trades. So we will get into that, but let's look at our real numbers. I'm going to share the screen here. And here we go.
We have our new handy dandy spreadsheet that Miss Teresa did for us. So it's a little bit more accurate, broken down by categories better.
Yep, we have an updated spreadsheet for us. Now, she did, this has always been on file in the Boss Facebook group, and she has recently updated it with the newest file. Now, of course, these are kind of put together with Vikki and myself in mind. So they're, you know, very specific. Like mine has Instagram on it, Vicki's has Poshmark on it. So yes, but it
may not work for you specifically, but it's a decent guide for you to.
And again, we're not using these in any way for our actual business as far as taxes or anything like that goes. This is literally just a demonstration to give you an idea of how we've done in the last week. So we're going to start with mine. I actually had a pretty good week. You know, I think I've always said before that I really try to hit like 2,000 in eBay sales. Obviously, that didn't happen here. But if I can hit 3,000 in gross sales, that's pretty good.
That's a good.
I'm pretty happy about that.
And that's without you doing the virtual flea.
No, but I did have some Instagram sales. So you can see I have 26 orders on eBay, 13 on Etsy, 4 through Instagram, and 5 on Grailed and Mercari. Haven't put that together there for the sake of space. So 48 total outgoing orders, which is more than I normally do. I mean, this is my numbers are kind of going up there. My eBay gross sales, $1,482.62. My Etsy gross sales, I did all right this last week on Etsy, $754.47. My Instagram gross sales, $380. And then Grailed and Mercari together, I actually had a few sales in Mercari this last week, which it's been pretty slow there. So $456 there. So my total gross sales, $3,073.09. If I could keep at 3,000 total every week or more, I would be really happy. My shipping, $212.84. And then you can see there the breakdown of like the different fees. Notes that Instagram is not on there because Instagram is not a selling platform that charges fees. It's not primarily a selling platform. So there are no fees charged. You deal payments with your buyers individually.
Directly.
Yeah, directly, either through PayPal. Sometimes they pay me directly to my bank account using Zelle. It's fantastic. Anyway, so you can see the breakdown of my fees. So my total cost there, $516.05. And then my cost of goods, $550. And so my net total sales with all those costs taken out, obviously doesn't account for a lot of other costs like other items I bought this last week or any overhead, blah, blah, blah. $2,007.04. My gross average sale price, $64.02. I've really been trying to get above 70, and it happens sometimes, but I will say I did sell a lot of old stuff through offers and
Me
stuff like
too. I did a lot of
$20.
old stuff this week.
Yeah. So a lot of like $20 sales and stuff like that. And then my net average sale price, $41.81. So I'm pretty happy with that. I feel pretty good.
It's a good week.
And now while everyone looks at that and says, wow, you did really great, let's go and look at Vikki's, and then all my dreams and hopes of everything and feelings of self-esteem can be crushed.
You're such a dork. So I did have a good week this week. As I was just saying to Katie, I blew out a lot of really small things on eBay as well. Several things under $20 just to blow them out. Some old items that, you know, make some money back on and that I probably should have just redonated. But something's better than nothing at that point. So I had 51 orders on eBay. 10 on Etsy, 10 on Poshmark. Poshmark really came through for me this week.
Nice.
7 on Mercari for a total of 78 orders. That's a
good
lot
number for you too.
That's a good number for me. I'm usually between 50 and 60, and it's not even Q4 really. I mean, we are kind of sort of, but not quite yet. So eBay, just under $2,500 for the week. $714 on Etsy, $587 on Poshmark, $308 on Mercari for a total of $41.01.99.
Nice.
So it's a good week.
Yeah.
Anything over the $2,500, $3,000 thing is a good week in my book. So $420 for shipping. I do have a lot of bigger, heavier items in Katy, so you're always going to see my shipping costs being higher. I'm not shipping just clothing. My eBay fees, $301 and change. Etsy fees, Poshmark fees, Mercari fees. So total fees, including shipping, $942. My cost of goods is relatively low for the amount of sales, so $299 for my cost of goods. So my total net, $28.60 and 77 cents.
Ooh.
My gross ASP is 52 and change. I am trying to be closer to that $55 or $60 average sale price. So it's a little bit low, but again, I had a lot of low number things go out. And my net ASP, $36.68.
Yep.
So it's still pretty good. I'm happy with 2,800 and almost 2,900 net sales. That's pretty good.
Fan-freaking-tastic. All right, I'm going to go back to us. Hi, everybody. Hi. Anyway, yeah, I feel pretty good about all those sales, and you were talking about, fourth quarter. It pretty much starts October 1st. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be weird because I feel like last year was when there was like major changes to on eBay to item specifics, and I know for me it very much impacted my my October sales, and I know it did for you too, some, right?
It did.
So it's gonna be interesting to see this year now that I'm doing like a lot more on. I just started Grailed in February of this year. I just started Mercari like a couple months ago. And then of course Etsy's built up a lot, and then I'm doing the Instagram. So I'm really, really curious to see like how my fourth quarter is going to be different.
Yeah, me too. I have Mercari and I have Posh as two extra things. I had started Mercari last year around October or November, but I really only had a handful of items on there. Now it's a solid, other secondary platform for me. So I'm interested in seeing. Item specific situation really hasn't done much this year. It hasn't really affected a lot of us yet. So I think that means they rolled it out better this year. I think it's easier to find your specific items that need to be adjusted. At least it is for me. I think I had about 25, which isn't too bad. Mostly in electronics actually, and a lot of it you had to like dig through, and it was kind of difficult because some of the things are like all these really obscure questions they asked on vintage electronics items that were impossible to answer, but whatever. So yeah, I'm excited to see. I do think, Tommy, I think part of it is that, Katie and I are both in managed payments. I feel like I've seen a bump in sales in the last few weeks because of it. But on the other hand, I've seen a bump in zero feedback buyers because of it, which I think is great. But I've also seen a bump in zero feedback non-payers because of it. Yeah. So a lot of people making offers, and of course can't get immediate payment on offers. So I've have about 4 or 5 unpaid items every week not getting paid for. So yeah. I don't know if that's anything to do with it, or if it's just that we're starting to get into buying season again. So it's too tough to tell. Can't really tell yet. Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. No, I said too tough to tell. It's close. I was just in rap mode because Sandra's over here rapping. Oh, look, you can just see her eyes. Let's look at her rap right now together. Let's do that. Anyway,
Okay, so you want to go ahead and look at our sales highlights. As usual, guys, at any time you can go look at our eBay stores, our Etsy stores. You know, you can see what we've sold over the last week. Of course, we're picking out only the coolest sales,
right,
or ones that we think have a good story to them or can somehow be a teaching moment. But yeah, I'm not going to show you the t-shirt I sold for $20 that's been in my inventory for over 3 years now that I got back into Oregon in 2016.
I'm not going to show you the t-shirt that I sold for $8 that has been in my inventory for like 3 years. So yeah, you're not going to get the low lights. You're just getting the highlight reel.
I really just need to pull some of that stuff out and just get rid of it. But that would require a whole nother level of work that I'm not quite prepared to do. All right, let's go ahead and look at our sales highlights for this last week. What is this fancy shiz right here?
So I picked these up just last weekend. So I had already photographed and I've listed everything that I picked up last weekend, with the exception of the big clothing haul that we'll talk about after. But all of the hard goods I picked up. I picked these up at a community garage sale that I went to with Katy and Teresa. And we also went with Holly. Holly came with us, and Holly's sister-in-law. So I paid $2. I bought 2 boxes. One of the boxes, once I got it home, they had some mismatched stockings in, and they were just crappy, so I threw them away. But this was the only one that I ended up listing. I took photographs. I listed it. It sold within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So $59.95 out of $2. I will take that all day long.
Now, Tracy's asking why you don't like the feedback thing. I think what she's talking about, there's nothing wrong with zero feedback buyers. It's just that sometimes when they're using the offer system, there's nothing wrong with zero. I love zero feedback buyers. I love being that person that sells them their first thing, or if they're using a guest account, which that's what I'm talking about. When you're in managed payments, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to come in using guest accounts that are not eBay buyers, that don't have eBay accounts. So they're going to have zero feedback, which is great. That's what bringing extra, that's what I mean about managed payments, bringing you extra sales. But also what's going to happen with that is people not realizing when they make an offer that it's a binding contract to purchase. So they're going to make an offer and then they're going to flake and they're never going to pay. Or they might not, this isn't going to happen all the time, but maybe they might not get the notification because maybe they don't have the app on their phone, or, you know, it's just
right,
more
exactly
like,
what Sandra just said. They may not stay engaged or check their emails. They don't necessarily know that making an offer means that they're committed to buy it. Like on the other platforms like Macari or Grailed or Poshmark, when someone makes an offer and you accept it, they're charged immediately. Yeah. That's kind of how it should be for eBay. It's not there yet. It may happen. We'll see what happens.
I would guess that's going to be something that will happen once everybody is fully in the managed payments program. But don't ever let that keep you from accepting an offer. It's just more of an observation of, like, you know, whatever. It's nothing bad. All right. Anything else on this one? Hello?
No, okay. That's all I got. And she said I meant, do you not like people having to leave feedback on a sale? Well, I don't know what you mean by that, but
I don't know.
Nobody has to leave feedback. I leave feedback automatically when people pay, but I pretty much have about 30% of my customers leave feedback. That's it. Maybe less.
Yeah. All right. So this is PB Guitars t-shirt.
I love that shirt.
I've had this for quite like a few months. It's nice and faded. I remember it had some staining, but I washed the crap out of it, and guess what? It looks beautiful, but it is worn and faded. But
totally my style.
Perfect way. It's just,
all of those baseball raglan tees.
Yeah, for sure.
I would wear every one of them.
I'm surprised I had this for as long as I did, but somebody made an offer for $97. It was on sale for $139.99. Somebody made an offer for $97, and they were in the UK, so I was like, hot diggity dog, yep. So I got $97 plus shipping to the UK, which is always a good deal. But yeah, I think this is a really cool shirt. I'm surprised it took as long as it did because it's got a great graphic on it. I love the color and the style.
I probably should have stolen that from your inventory to wear.
No. Anyway, really cool shirt. I love it. All right, next one for you.
So this is one that I picked up from yesterday's Fits. Austin sold it to me. Not Austin. Jesse sold it to me very cheaply because it's missing a button. There's a couple of reasons why. It's small, it's a women's, and it's missing a button. But it's vintage and it's from the 70s and it's made in West Germany. So a lot of that older Adidas stuff still is highly collectible. So I took the chance on it. I knew I was going to sell it. It took a little while, but it did sell for $84.
Not too shabby. Looks good. Love it.
Yeah.
yeah, this is when he needed to like make some room, and so he let us come up. We got to go upstairs and like go through everything and get a bunch of stuff for really good prices. So, all right, next one for me is this awesome Sacred Knives of Vengeance t-shirt. I love this shirt. It's too bad it's so freaking small. Like it's really slim vintage fit. But I got this from the guy that I've been buying a bunch of movie t-shirts from. I love this is like a 70s. It's a 1972 movie. So this is basically when you get some of these promo shirts from the 70s, they're basically like iron-ons. But I love the back. It says, "Don't turn your back on," and then you turn around. The Sacred Knives of Vengeance. Super cool shirt. Love it. It's only been up for this last week, but like I said, it was size medium, and it's like 17.5 inches across the chest, so real freaking tiny. You can see that old school Fruit of the Loom tag right there, and you see like
Fruit of the Loom.
Back in the 70s and early 80s, t-shirts were made in cotton, and it was kind of like early to mid 80s when the whole 50-50 blend really became popular. So some of those really old t-shirts are so freaking tiny. But anyway, somebody offered me $100. And again, I price my stuff like this, $199.99. It goes on sale to $140. I have it listed like in my Etsy store just for a straight $140, maybe $150. But I know that like I would be happy to take like $100 on it. So somebody offers me that bottom price that I know I'd be willing to take. I go ahead and take it. So I sold this one for $100. Just a really cool shirt. I think I bought it in a big bulk buy, but it came out to about $25. So 25 into 100, I will jump on that any day. Next one for you.
This is nothing spectacular to show. I just wanted to let people know that we have people in the boss group that ask all the time, and in other groups as well. Should I hang on to my vintage? Should I hang on to my Christmas stuff now? Should I list it now? Listen, holiday stuff and Christmas stuff sells year round. This is a no-name, made in China nativity set. It's nothing spectacular. I paid $6 for this at a Goodwill in Arizona early spring, and it sold for $80.
Nice. Well, and what's nice about it is that it already came in its own box with the styrofoam and everything.
Yeah, and I did have free shipping on this because it was probably about 5 or 6 pounds, and I think this was I don't know if I had I don't know why I had free shipping on it, to be honest with you. Maybe one that didn't get changed over or whatever. Yeah. But it actually only went to Colorado, so it only cost me like $12 to ship. So I mean, Christmas sells all year. Every year. Don't hold off on listing Christmas stuff. Just price it higher if it happens to be out of season. And this is not out of season right now. This is right about the season when people start buying. So exactly. Again, it's a nothing, made in China. This was probably sold at some department store. It was not very expensive. It's not like this fantastic fancy set, and it still sold for $80.
Yeah, very nice. All right, let's look at some more Raglan t-shirts here.
I'd wear this one too.
Also blue. This is a beautiful E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
I don't know why you didn't keep this one.
Because it was a little small for me, and I was like, if I can sell it, I'm going to price it high, and if I can sell it, I sell it. So this t-shirt, it's funny, when I went to LA with Jesse from Yesterday's Fits and Joe, who works for him at Yesterday's Fits. On the way back from LA, because we went there to source, on the way back, we stopped in Victorville. There's a little vintage shop there, and I bought a few t-shirts there. But it's funny because Joe actually grabbed this one off the rack, and he showed it to me because obviously he knows how much I love ET, and he's like, hey, look at this. And
I don't know why you didn't keep it.
Like I just said, it doesn't fit me, woman, and I figured I'd price it high. And so I paid $50 for it, and I went ahead and just priced it high. And let me tell you, there's a lot of other ET stuff out there that actually has ET himself on it. This is the only one that has like this rainbow and just says ET really big. I think it's a cool shirt. I like to think that me selling my other ET shirt on the Virtual Flea for $900 has helped to elevate the market for ET shirt. Yeah, but at least
because like the other Virtual Flea guy elevated the sales of Aladdin t-shirts.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, all this stuff is becoming more and more popular right now. But I do think when there's something specific that sells for a really high price, you'll see other listings go up. Anyway, so I priced this, not too crazy high, but it sold for the amount you see there, $209.99. So I sold it for $210. I paid $50 for it. And it's funny because I sent Joe a picture of the sale, and he was like, hey, where's my cut? But he was like, LOL, whatever. But it was just funny because he had grabbed this for me, and, for it to sell for 210. And you know, we always say like size doesn't really matter when it comes to selling on selling platforms, but because I am doing like the virtual flea and stuff more, it is true in that particular venue. You're more likely to sell stuff if it's a large or an extra large. The smaller stuff, it's harder to sell.
Well, I think it's because the people that are buying nostalgia are older people, and let's face it, we're as a people, we are not as thin as we were when we were younger.
Well, I mean, but what I'm saying is that when I sell it on platforms, I'm still able to get those big prices. It's just that when it comes to being on the virtual flea, where you have a specific audience of people and they're the ones with the money to spend right there, it's the larges and the extra larges are going to go, and the mediums kind of get forgotten. But good thing we also sell on these platforms, because I can get $210 for an ET t-shirt. And so I don't really care. I'll still grab the small stuff. All right. Next one for you.
So this one is nothing exciting. It just happens to be, this is a St. John knit set that I purchased. I believe I got this in a bulk purchase from another reseller here in town several months ago. Actually, I think it might have even been earlier. Earlier this year. I paid about $3 or $4 an item from her. I purchased a lot of stuff, and it sold for the price that you see there. It took a while to sell, but again, it's a bit of a niche market. $153.97.
All right, nice.
Plus shipping, and it's just a standard St. John knit sweater. And
is this the St. John Santana collaboration?
No, it is not. No, you are incorrect. It's just that it goes to show that the St. John Santana knit clothing, whether it's 80s, 90s, 2000s, or current, it sells very well. There are different levels of St. John, but the knit clothing, the sweater knit clothing, sells very well. Little old ladies love this clothing. It is extremely well made. And the more ornate the buttons, the more money you're going to get for it.
Yeah. Sandra, inappropriate.
Just waiting.
Inappropriate. All right.
That mannequin is not cold, you weirdo.
All right. Next one for me is, so this one I didn't sell for like a crazy price or anything like that, but to kind of keep on top of like some of the stuff that I've been selling that I picked up at Torgum in LA. So I paid $10 for this. It was literally listed for maybe 4 or 5 days. And this is just a North Carolina State University Wolfpack t-shirt. I thought the graphic is kind of cool on it. It's got some wear and fading. It's got like a small spot on it somewhere. Yeah, like right there was a little spot. So it's got a little worn and everything. And so the reason why I'm showing this to you guys is I had somebody offer me, it was on Grailed. And this seems to happen more, I'd say Grailed and Mercari happens even more than any other platform. But this guy offered me like, I think $25. And on Grailed, I had it listed for like $48, but then there's the $8 shipping on top of it. And so a lot of times when I'm negotiating, I'll just take this shipping and just, come back with 48. So the guy offered me 25. I came back with 48 that would be without the shipping. And his response back was something like, yeah, it's a cool graphic, but not a $50 tee, LOL, playa, or something like that. And I was just kind of like, okay, dude, whatever. So I just ignored him. And then literally the next day, it sells on Etsy. And how much did it sell for on Etsy? Let's look over here. It sells like the next day for $47.99 plus tax. So they paid like $52 and something cents. But basically I sold it for the exact amount I had offered to this guy. And like I said, it only been listed for a few days.
And that's when you send the snarky message back.
And here's the thing that's funny is I've never like, my whole thing is like, I'm above that. I'm not going to send snarky messages.
Nobody's above it.
I'm usually I never do. I never do this, but I basically like, I just had to, because it's so annoying. The whole like LOL, the like passive aggressive LOL. It's like, okay, dude, you're not literally laughing out loud. You're not literally sitting at home going $48. Oh! So it's like the LOL is just like calling me a player, LOL. So I responded and I just said, yo, I just wanted to let you know I sold the shirt for $50 to somebody or whatever. And I said something like, something like the value of a shirt is what somebody will pay for it. And his response was like, oh, okay, well, good for you, LOL. Again, pretty sure he was not laughing out loud, but LOL. Anyway, my whole point is, what's a jerk? I am a playa and I got $48 for the shirt because it's awesome. I paid $10 for it. I got 48 because it's cool.
Stop yelling in my ear.
Get your ear out of my face. Jeez. Anyway, that's all. Paid $10.
Katy getting mad at the bros on Mercari.
Well, it's just no. This one was Grailed. I get these messages all the time, mostly on Grailed and Mercari, sometimes on eBay, and I 99% of the time ignore them. But it's
everybody gets them.
It's like why do you care?
Why did you take time out of your life to tell me that you think my shit's overpriced?
Yeah,
somebody's paying it.
Come on, get over yourself. Anyway, so that's my story about this shirt. Next one for you. Ugh!
Here's my creepy doll. Ew. Here's my creepy doll. So I picked this up for, I think we picked this up in Flagstaff, Arizona. So, or Utah, where was it? Utah. So this is probably 6 or 7 weeks ago. I picked this up. It's been sitting in my office. I haven't even listed it. I finally listed it this week. It actually listed it, and it got her arms are all loose. She's all jacked up. So her hair's uneven. She's missing some hair plugs. She's got, her arms are loose. Her head's got a weird tilt. I paid, like I said, I think the lady gave her to me because she's like, here, I don't know, $1, get her out. Why is she in my store? That was literally what she said to me when I bought a bunch of things. And I knew what it was. I know she can sell for more, but I was quite happy to get what you see there for it. I paid like $1. It sold for $125.97. Plus I charged $40 shipping, not because she's heavy. She probably only weighs about 4 pounds, but she's huge. She's 36 inches. So, 35 inches. So I need a really big box, and it's oversized. But guess what, guys? She's going to California. So it's only going to cost me about $15 to send her to California. Yeah. So I get to keep the extra too. So I'm pretty happy with that. I knew it was going to sell, fairly quickly, but I did nothing to this doll. I did not try to brush her hair. I didn't try to make her look cute. I was like, look at this.
There's no making that look
cute. There's this jacked up, ratchet looking doll that is a messed up doll, and she's still sold.
Nice work. Barry, by the way, said that my smack talk is weak.
Yeah, you need to work on that.
Here's the thing, guys. I'm too nice. But every once in a while, I just want to get like a little zinger in. It wasn't really much of a zinger. It was more like, see. It was really a waste of my time, to be honest. But I'm glad this is going to be out of our lives soon.
Yeah. People have been like, she's in my office looking creepy. Dana comes to house sit last weekend. She put it in the bed to scare her husband in the bedroom. I mean, it's pretty funny, but
was it LOL funny?
It was LOL.
Were you literally laughing out loud?
No,
I didn't think so. All right. So Blarney Tech Ireland sweatshirt. So this is another one I picked up at Torgum again. I paid $10 for this. And actually when I grabbed it, I was kind of like, will this sell? And I was like, I waffled on it for like a second, and I'm like, yeah, it's worth $10. So I grabbed it, and again, maybe I had this. I don't think I even had this listed for like a week. I'm still working my way through the rest of my Torgum pieces. So I think I need to like go and
we're going again in 2 weeks.
I know. I think I need to go and update my little spreadsheet, but I think I'm really close to breaking even, having sold like maybe 12 out of the 85 pieces. So let's go ahead and see what I sold this one for.
That doll may very well have my cell phone.
I think so.
Ratchet biatch.
I'm pretty sure. Anyway, oh, what just happened? Unable to get price.
Weird.
I don't know why. Well, I'll just tell you guys. I sold it for $62.99. I had it listed for $69.99, and it has a 10% off sale. So I paid $10. Sold for $62.99. I'm trying to get like minimum of $40 out of any piece that I buy there. So, so far that has been the case. So, but yeah, $62.99 for the sweatshirt. I think it's cool. I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's cool too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to guess what I sold my items for if you're not able to.
Well, no, it was just that one. I don't know.
Okay.
It's weird because it's like, I don't know.
All right. We'll see.
We'll see.
So this is one of two things. I went back to Rhode Island for a wedding in February. I was there just for the weekend. Last time I was able to actually fly and visit my family. And I actually shipped 2 blankets home from Rhode Island, and this is one of them. And it cost me $10 or so to ship these 2 blankets home. I had paid $5 a piece for them, so that means I had $20 invested. The first blanket I sold for $125 right off the bat. This one has been sitting here since February. So this vintage Faraboo blanket was, old, dead stock, tag still on it. Again, we all know I like blankets. This will work this time. Yeah, so that one sold for $150 on Etsy. And then the very same day, I sold the other blanket. This is one I picked up in Utah with Katy. I paid $3 for this. I bought 2 of them. They were 2 different colors. They both sold the same day. One on Poshmark. What? And one on Etsy. And that Pendleton sold for $129.95. These are fairly small too. If you look at the measurements, they're not huge blankets, but these had been dry cleaned. They had dry cleaners tags on them. They're very clean, vintage, 70-ish, 70s-ish.
So you said you paid how much?
I paid $3 for that one.
And how much for this one?
And I paid about $5 to $7 for the blanket, and then it cost me, let's say, split the difference, about $5 to ship it.
Okay, and so you sold it for $280. That's awesome. That's crazy, guys. That's why her cost of goods are so much lower.
Don't sleep on blankets. I mean, well,
I think you should
sleep on the blankets.
Hold on a second. Whoa, whoa, whoa! All my life, slept on blankets. And now you're telling me don't sleep on blankets. I'm confused, guys. I'm real confused. Can you sleep under blankets? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Sleep under the blankets. Don't sleep on them. And then
I don't know why people like wool blankets, to be honest with you, because I think they're scratchy as hell. I could never, ever have a blanket like this on my bed.
They're very warm. You put them over, if you have them as a top blanket over a nice soft sheet, they're very, very, very warm. So,
nope.
They're all good. All right. So, are you all good on the blankets?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's go on to my next one. I have this Harley Davidson t-shirt. This is a 3D emblem t-shirt from 1991. You know, it's not one of the crazy designs for the 3D emblem shirts. Here, let me make it bigger. It's not one of the crazy designs, but it's just got a cool eagle there. It says sink your claws into something good. And you can see, I mean, this is a black t-shirt, but you can see from the way the fabric looks, it is so thin. And you can see like it's got holes in it. It's all worn and faded, single stitch. You can see markings on it. It's just a very... but it's a very nice shirt.
It's rough.
I love it.
Rough looking.
Now, sometimes the 3D emblems actually have 3D emblem tags. I feel like some of the, especially like the 80s ones, they'll have the 3D emblem tag, or they'll have it on the shirt itself. So you can see right there, it says 3D emblem 1991. But yeah, it's pretty worn and faded. I got this from Yesterday's Fits. So I would say I would have paid like 50. I think the most I paid for a 3D emblem shirt from them is 60. But this one, I think I just paid 50 for. So let's go ahead and see what I sold it for. It was 10% off. So I sold it for $179.99. I sold it for $180.
It's still, I have not found a 3D emblem Harley Davidson shirt. There's very few things I have not found yet out of my my wish list, and that's one of them. Katy has found 800 of them. To be fair, she has sought out a bunch of them and purchased them from other people. She has only found a few out in the wild.
But yes, in the wild, I think I've maybe found like 3 or 4. And so that's like at thrift stores. That's there was the one garage sale we went to, I got for $1. So I have legitimately in the wild thrifted like 3 or 4. I probably, as many of those I have bought from Yesterday's Fits, which I don't consider that finding in the wild because I'm paying up for them. They're the ones that have them.
They've already found them.
They've already found them.
Yeah.
So for sure. But $180. I feel like, you know, there's some that sell for crazy amounts, but even the ones that are like this, that, you know, are just kind of basic shirts.
Crazy.
You can make good money on. A lot of times they get really undersold. Big time.
So Money for Mars said we had only had wool blankets in lockup, so maybe that's why people like the wool blankets. Makes them feel comforted, like they're back in jail. I don't know.
Yes, that's all you're selling, wool blanket. You're only
I'm selling the old blankets to people that have been in prison,
incarcerated in the past.
Sure.
No, they're really warm. They're really warm. Anyway,
scratchy.
All right. Again, you have a sheet in between you and the blanket.
Still, I put my blanket around my face. I like cuddle under a blanket.
But you can have a top blanket for the winter times.
No.
All right, here you go. What you got here?
So this is not anything spectacular, right? So this is a vintage Woolrich. Did I even have Woolrich in the title? I'm not even sure I have Woolrich in the title. It's a vintage Woolrich.
Guess you don't need to know.
I guess.
Is it even in the listing anywhere?
Nope.
Wow. You're like, man, no need to
put Woolrich in the title. I don't put the title if it's a no-name brand, but Woolrich is a name.
That's a little weird. That's what
I don't know why I didn't have that in the title. But the pattern reminded me of cotton candy, so that's what I had said. It's like this blue and pink marbled cotton candy look. I paid maybe $5 for this at a thrift store. So this is the other thing I wanted to say. Clearly, you can sell stuff without the brand name in the title. Clearly, you can. I wouldn't advise it. If it is a brand like Woolrich, you should probably put it in the title. Maybe that's why it took me a while to sell it. It did take a few months to sell it, but it sold for $79.95. And it's women's. And generally speaking, men's clothing sells faster, and vintage men's clothing sells for more money than women's, almost all the way across the board, for a lot of reasons. Men do not do price shopping quite as much as women do. When they shop, they look for something they want and they just buy it, first of all. Second of all, men's clothing tends to be a little bit more standard in sizing, where women's clothing, vintage women's clothing is all over the place. The sizes are all over the place. And not every seller knows how to appropriately size items depending on how old it is.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Next one for me, one of my Mercari sales. I had like 3 of them this last week. This was my best one. This is from a t-shirt from Godzilla 2000. Now, this is not an American movie. This is the Japanese. It's like one of their many sequels. But it was a 1999 movie, Godzilla 2000. And I got this from just a random YouTube auction. Bought a bunch of t-shirts from a guy, and so I think this one came out I paid maybe $20 for it. It was a pretty low cost lot of t-shirts. So this one was about $20, and somebody offered, you see it says $199, but I think at the time that they offered, that she offered, it was down to like $169. Because I have it set to like slowly drop in price. And I think it had bottomed out at $169. But she offered $136, and I've had this listed for a few weeks now. And so I'm kind of to the point now where it's like, if I've had it for a few weeks and it hasn't sold yet, and it's one of these higher priced items, I'm still making a bunch of money on it. I paid $20 for it. I sold for $136. Like that's a really good flip.
Yeah, for sure.
And I might as well free that cash up to be able to get better stuff or other stuff.
I've been being a lot more like that over this last year as well. I used to be one of those list it and forget it and keep some things priced very high. I do price my things very high, but now I'm a lot more aggressive with my sending out offers. And if something's been sitting for a few months and I know that I have it priced very high, I'm a lot more willing to cut a deal on it, to flip it, to get more fresh inventory, if that makes sense. I don't take a loss on anything. I'm always going to make good money on something, but if I think if I waited a year, it would sell for $200, or I can sell it for $140 quickly, I'm going to take the $140.
Yeah. Well, and particularly now for me, now that I am paying up for more stuff, it's like, to me, it makes a lot more sense if I've shown it on Instagram a couple of times and I've had it listed for a few weeks. It's like it's gotten a lot of eyes. I would rather sell it, make a profit, and be done with it, because I've paid, this one I paid $20 for, so I didn't pay up for it a lot, but enough that I'm like, I want to free up that money to be able to get more inventory and move on. A lot of times when I'm paying up for stuff, I'm hoping that I'm going to list on Instagram and somebody's going to go, wow, and want to buy it right away. And that happens sometimes, but it doesn't happen every time. All right, next one for you.
Yeah, I picked these up at Deseret Industries. I remember it wasn't that long ago. It was just a few months ago. They were in the pajama rack with women's clothing, and I paid $3 for these. They're just everybody remembers these kind of pants, right? Well, every guy was wearing these in the 80s. They'd wear them to the gym, or they'd wear them to, in my case, they're wearing them to school. These big baggy.
But these ones are awesome.
Zubaz is one of the most popular brands that you'll think of when you think of these. These are not Zubaz, but they look just like them. This was a brand I wasn't actually able to find any other like this by this brand, but they sold pretty quickly. I think I probably have had these listed maybe a month or two, not very long.
Let's see how much you got for them. Ooh,
$99.95.
What? That's crazy.
On the good old Etsy.
I like them. They're pretty. They're pretty. All right. Anything else?
They look like they're very comfortable, actually.
Anything else?
No, that's it. With those, that's it. Nothing, nothing exciting.
Cool. All right.
I dated a guy in junior high. Something else. I dated a guy in junior high that wore almost exclusively those type of pants. And yeah, so my best friend Carrie used to call him Pajama Boy because they looked like pajama bottoms.
I'm gonna start wearing them now.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I don't know why, but yeah, I don't know why I dated the guy that wore pants like that, but I did.
You were in middle school.
And I do know why, you know, my friend Carrie called him Pajama Boy. Tracy, you might remember Kenny McMillan. Kenny McMillan, I dated him in like 9th grade, maybe 10th grade, but I think 9th grade. And he used to wear pants like that all the time. And my best friend Carrie called him Pajama Boy.
Pajama Boy.
Tracy and I went to school together. So
yeah. All right. So next up is this Pocahontas t-shirt. This is one that I picked up from. I actually bought this from Jesse at Yesterday's Fits, and it was one that he had gotten at Torgum, like the trip before the one that I went to with him. And he pulled this out of one of the bales. They let him go through one of the bales. So he paid like $15 for it. I paid $60 for it because he had this in his stack of stuff that he was going to show in his virtual flea appearance. But he always lets me kind of go and raid his rack before he does his. And so he sold it to me for $60. And it's funny because it's a medium, so not a great size for the virtual flea. And so I didn't do it in an auction or anything like that. So I did offer him up on the virtual flea, I think for $100. And then when I was going to list it, I actually found another one, the exact same t-shirt, but it was an extra large, same color, everything, design, but it was an extra large instead of a medium. And I actually bought it off of eBay for $60. I'll do that a lot of times. If the same shirt is up, even if it's a different size, if it's the same shirt and the price is lower than I want to sell mine for, a lot of times I'll just buy it because I'm going to
buy them out.
Yeah, because I don't want that cheap one up on the site when somebody goes to look. Anyway, so
buy out the competition.
Kind of. So again, even though it's not the same size, it's more about like somebody seeing comps and not, I don't want them to see that there's another one being sold for half the price. So anyway, so the other one I haven't even listed yet. I have photographs of it in measurements, and I'll be listing that in the next few days. But this one, I had it on Grailed. I think I listed it at $199. You can see there, and I think my bottom price was $149. So it had already dropped to my bottom price plus the $8 shipping. So they paid $157 for this T-shirt. Again, I paid $60 for it. So basically, I sold the shirt, paid for both of them, and now when I sell the other one, which should sell more easily because it's a nice big size, extra large, that's going to be all profit. But yeah, bought it for $60, sold it for $157, so I'm pretty happy about that.
So Jen saying, remember the jeans with the half pleather front? So Jen, now that we're Facebook friends, I've been seeing some of your photos, and I saw your old photos, by the way. I just wanted to say she lost an old friend this week. So happy birthday, and I'm sorry about that. But I was looking at your old photos, and you look exactly like I did in high school with the hair and the clothes and everything. So we are totally soul sisters, first of all. Second of all, I remember those jeans because those jeans, I totally would have worn them. I'm sure I did have them. And they were high-waisted, skinny jeans with the tapered leg, and they had the leather or the pleather on the front of them. They were the coolest jeans, and they made your butt look great when I had a great-looking butt when I was younger.
You had a good-looking butt. Why are you talking about your butt?
Well, yeah, whatever. Anyway,
they
were fun.
Indeed. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
So I can tell that Crystal took this photo because Crystal's mannequin has a tilt. So it's Crystal's mannequin's kind of drunk. So, but this is a jacket that I picked up. I'm pretty sure I picked it up at Savers. I'm not entirely sure. But I've had it for a little while. I've probably had it for a few months. I've had some lowball offers on it. Again, when you're looking at vintage is a very specific, a very specific market, and vintage militaria is another even more specific market within the vintage market. So the fact that I actually got $85 for this on Poshmark, and I was getting some lowball offers, I was pretty happy with that. I think I paid, like I said, around $12 or so, and it's wool and it's heavy. But there weren't a lot, of them out there.
It's interesting. A parka.
Yeah,
like
it's long. It looks long
like a
too. It looks almost like a sweatshirt. It looks almost like those old swim jackets that are long, like 3/4 length. It was very long like that, even though it wasn't a very big jacket. So it was just an oddly designed jacket, but I think super cool. I think there's some pictures down there if you're able to see them, maybe not, where you can see like the hood. But anyway, the hood unzips and then it lays flat on the back. I don't know why I don't have that photo there because I didn't take these photos, sorry. But anyway, pretty cool. And I sold it for an $85 sale on Poshmark is a big deal. So I was
just wait till you see her other Poshmark sale. Whoa. All right. Next one for me. So this last weekend, I got asked by this guy on Instagram, Coop Caps Closet, is that his name? I believe. That's his Instagram handle. Anyway, he does a Tuesday night show, like a live show where he has guests come on and they do kind of like the virtual flea. They do auctions and sell stuff. And he had decided that he wanted to do like an all women's night last Tuesday. So he asked me if I wanted to be on it, to be the headliner. And so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. So I got to do, basically it was like kind of like the virtual flea, but it was on this last Tuesday night. So I got a half an hour. Obviously, it was a smaller audience, and I just had a half an hour, so I only auctioned off a few items, but it actually went pretty well. I think there were like 50 or so people in there, and it was really cool because he had like 6 different women, and they all did 30-minute sets. And so I got the second to the last set, and he was last, and I stayed on live with him while he sold his stuff, so it was really fun, and we gave each person donated 1 piece to charity, so it was kind of cool. But anyway, I'm just going to show this listing because obviously I don't have sold pictures from Instagram. But this is actually 2 different t-shirts that I had gotten, all from the guy that I've been getting a bunch of movie promos from. And I just had done this post like, you know, which do you prefer, a darker color or a nice fade? And so just kind of showing like the difference, even though they're the same shirt. And I actually sold the faded one already on eBay for $120. And then I had the darker one still. And so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to have like, even though I knew it was going to be a smaller audience, I decided I was going to risk it, and I was going to have kind of a cooler shirt to auction off because I still wanted to have some cool stuff. And I was like, if I can get at least 100, I'll be happy, even though I kind of want 120 like I did with the other one. But I went ahead and auctioned it, and it actually went really well. And I ended up selling it for $115. And remember, when I sell something on Instagram, I'm not paying platform fees. So I saved like a good 10% of fees. Plus, the guy who ended up winning the auction turned out he was in Canada. So he paid an extra $15 for shipping. So I actually made more on this shirt than I did on the one I sold on eBay. So I was pretty happy about that. But it was just kind of cool because I got to do this little show. It was a fun show, kind of honoring women in the vintage game. And I got to sell some cool pieces and make some money on Instagram. So it was pretty cool. Next for you, what is this?
I know, right?
What?
So this was not only a good priced sale on Poshmark, but a full price sale on Poshmark. That's like the freaking unicorn of Poshmark, right? So, and it's vintage. So this is not a name brand. This is not a designer item.
Excuse me, it's Black.
It's Black. So I paid $5 for this at a garage sale. I had picked up 2 of them at a garage sale. They're both dead stock. I think this is the one that doesn't have tags on it. I have another one a different size that has tags on it. And it sold very quickly. Not very quickly, I shouldn't say that. It sold, it probably took about 5 months to sell, so that's not very quickly. But I paid $5 and it sold for $170 on Poshmark yesterday.
That is crazy. That's really good.
Full price sales on Posh are like a rare unicorn. They don't happen very often. And again, higher priced full price things don't sell very easily. So that was pretty exciting for me.
Very cool. Very cool.
Because it's listed much. I did. It's listed much cheaper on in my eBay store because I put everything up for full price on Poshmark and Etsy and stuff like that. So I was pretty excited to get such a good price for it.
Nice. Very cool. All right, last thing. So again, I sold this on that show. It was like Women Kick Ass. It was the title of his show for that night, Coop's show. And I decided I was going to auction this one off as well. And again, I was a little bit of a risk because I knew that I could probably get a decent price for this. I picked it up at one of the vintage shops here in town, not Yesterday's Fits, but one of the other ones, for $75. I always pay attention to their Instagram posts because stuff will come up that they'll price pretty low. And they're pretty cool where I can just say, I can just send them a message and be like, hey, could you hold this for me? I'll be in on Tuesday, which I actually have another shirt that I'm having them, a Nickelodeon shirt that I'm having them hold for me. I got to go pick up on Tuesday. And they're always super cool about it. So they had this one up for $75. And I was like, $75, that seems like super cheap for this shirt because it's got like Ice Cube and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Pearl Jam. It has a really good lineup. So I've had this for probably a month or so. I posted this on my Instagram. I showed it as a buy it now on other virtual fleas. Obviously, I've had it listed on my other platforms. I've gotten some lower offers. So I'm like, I'm going to, again, I'm going to go ahead and auction this one, even though maybe I won't get a crazy high amount, but if I can at least make my money back and a little bit on top of that, that'd be cool. Well, it actually ended up going for 160. So it actually went for higher than I was anticipating. Like I was hoping for like at least like maybe 130. It would have been, I would have been really happy with. But 160, I sold it for 160. And again, no fees on that. So it was a really good deal. I think it's an awesome shirt. I think it's really cool. So I'm happy that apparently the guy that bought it, he was like, it was the one shirt that like his pregnant girlfriend or wife like really wanted. And so he had to like make sure he was on there to like bid on it and win it for her. So
okay.
What? She's a big Ice Cube and Ministry fan. What's your problem?
What ifs?
So anyway, so I had a good week on Instagram. It was nice to have that, you know, get to be on the show and bring in an extra $350 in 30 minutes. Not too shabby. Anyway, that's it for our sales highlights.
So I want to talk a little bit about the big score that we made on Sunday night. So here's the thing, you guys, I think they might still be in the chat, but you guys have seen us talk about 100 times and highlight and have the ladies on our channel from List Perfectly, Clara and Amanda. They have an amazing product that we love, that we both use, that we talk about constantly, but above and beyond all of that, we've met them several times and hung out with them, and we really, really love them both as friends. And they happen to live, both live in Arizona. So I had reached out and said, hey, we're going to be in Arizona. I know you guys are being socially distant, but do you want to try to get together and maybe we can, you know, have dinner or have coffee or have a socially distant visit somewhere? Let me know. And Clara had said, well, here's the thing. You can probably come and look through some of the Clothing Vault clothing. The name of their business, their vintage business, is the Clothing Vault. And you can cherry pick some clothes. And then we kept talking a little bit more. And bottom line is I kind of bought out their Clothing Vault business. Yeah. So they are super busy with their new business, obviously, but they started List Perfectly because they are vintage clothing sellers, and their business has been very successful over the years. And what they had left, they just don't have time to do. You know, they can go back to it at any time, I'm sure, but they just don't have time to sell it. And so we made an arrangement, and that's why we drove home with an entire truck full of a lot of beautiful vintage clothing. Now, that being said, Katy got all the t-shirts because she did a lot of physical labor.
Here's what happened. I do a lot of things to help Vikki, and I sometimes will apply a certain tax to my efforts. And you know, she did a lot of work. So, you know, I'm like, you know, you got a free ride all the way to Arizona.
True.
And I did, it wasn't just like, okay, now I have to load the stuff into a car. It was like, I have to load the stuff into the car. Then we get to the Airbnb that we're staying at, and we needed, we couldn't just put our suitcases into it. So I had to unload everything that night. And I'm talking a lot of stuff here, guys. This is not just a little bit. I'm literally telling you that the SUV, the large size SUV, was packed.
7-passenger Pathfinder.
So loaded it in, loaded it out, packed up all of our stuff that we'd already gotten, plus our suitcases, then loaded it all back in, then got back to the house home here, unloaded it all. There was a lot of
loading and unloading.
There was a lot of physical labor.
So Cherry Darling, I'm glad you signed up yesterday. I hope you used our code down below. If you did not use the code down below and you just signed up, you can email List Perfectly and let them know that you wanted to use that code, because you will get 30% off your first month. So the code is LVPinkPeacock 77. It is listed down below. You do get 30% off your first month if you use that. So if you're within your trial period and you have not applied that code, definitely email them and they will apply it to your account.
Very cool.
So yeah, we love List Perfectly. We
awesome.
love the ladies at List Perfectly. And so we have an awful lot of amazing, I have an awful lot of amazing vintage merchandise now that is going to be coming up in my store in the next few weeks. We're going to show you some of that through our haul here, but also because they believe very greatly in paying it forward in the community, they developed this program to help the reseller community. And we believe very much in helping the reseller community, which is why we do this show, which is why we help, run a Facebook group to give back and to teach sellers and to help sellers. What we're also going to be doing is we're going to be taking some of this merchandise and we're going to be creating free reseller boxes to give away and help pay it forward a little bit further. So look for that to come. We will be doing some little contests here and there, but we'll be free reseller boxes. I'm not selling them. I'll be creating some boxes to give away to help people bulk up their inventory, especially right now when a lot of people are unable to source and sourcing is slim.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. So Cherry Darling is Gracie's Vintage.
Oh, okay.
That's what. So she did use your code. So we're all good. Awesome.
Yay!
Awesome to see you here in the chat.
I didn't recognize the little thumbnail of the photo. Sorry about that.
I have no idea what your actual name is.
Leah.
Is it what?
I think it's Leah or Leah.
I don't know. Or I'm asking right now. She can tell us in the chat, unless she doesn't want us to know right now in the chat. But yeah, anyway, I did score all the t-shirts, a few of the sweatshirts, and then I actually, she drives a hard bargain because I actually had to fork over some other inventory that I had from before to trade to get a few of the jackets that I also wanted. But I think it all came out pretty fairly, and I definitely got some cool stuff out of it.
It did. See, I was right, Leah.
Okay, there we go.
I just pay attention more than you do.
How dare you? All right, go ahead. What do you?
So we're gonna show you some of the stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I did post. I only did one post on Instagram with one specific item because as I was unloading, this is what came to me. But if you don't follow me on Instagram, and I know a lot of you guys are not on Instagram, this was because a phrase that's going on right now. Everybody is watching Cobra Kai, right? If you're not watching Cobra Kai, you should be watching Cobra Kai. It is the cheesiest, most fantastic, horrifically acted, over the top, awful, wonderful series on Netflix, which is a sequel to Karate Kid. It's ridiculous. So one of the things that I picked up is this in this haul is this true vintage 80s. It's kind of dead stock, I believe, 80s satin jacket from a Southern California karate school, karate dojo. And it's embroidered on the back. I mean, seriously, if you're into like the whole Cobra Kai Karate Kid thing, this is so topical right now. I'm probably going to sell this for about 125, 150.
I'd be selling it high anyway, but yeah, people are into
it's pretty fantastic because it's very topical right now. So I think it's fun. Anyway, I just thought it was really cool. I love this one. That one made me happy. Some of what I sold, and I'll be showing you a lot of stuff from this vintage haul over the next couple of weeks because I'm really not going to be doing much sourcing over the next couple of weeks. I have to get through this inventory, so bear with me, and you're going to be seeing a lot more clothing than hard goods for the next few weeks for me.
True.
Some of what I picked up in this haul is a lot of vintage militaria, which I love. I love vintage militaria. I love the jackets. I love the uniforms. I love the history behind them. I love people that are collectors of militaria, like to collect that piece of history. And I really love being able to preserve that and pass it on to people. So one of the things that was there's actually 3 or 4 of these, some vintage flight suits. These are full long overalls. They're flight suits. They're heavy. So this one is a small. One of the things about militaria is based on the tags that are inside, you can easily date where it's from and when it's from. So I haven't done this on this one yet, but this one will probably be like $100 for this, plus shipping, because it's big and heavy, and I will charge a little bit of shipping for it. And I think I have 3 or 4 of them. I love these.
We should just wear them and get a couple other people and start our own Ghostbusters gang.
Or Top Gun.
Whatever.
Top Gun.
Yeah,
Super Top Gun. So this is another fun one. This is probably just some local business sponsorship. This is another vintage satin jacket. It's a Swingster jacket. What I like, it's championship season with Garst. I haven't even looked it up. Garst is probably some local company that sponsored, an adult league or something like that. But it's a Swingster jacket. Just a vintage Swingster satin snap front jacket. But what I love about it is just the bright graphics on the back. I think it's fun.
Mhm.
So this is probably like a $60 jacket, maybe $75, again, because it's not a brand that someone is going to be looking for.
Sandra says that she made Rebecca watch Cocktail the other day. She hated it. So basically what we're learning here is that Rebecca hates Gina Gershon's entire catalog of films.
Must be.
Because she did not like Showgirls or Bound from what I remember. So
yep.
Rude. That's all I can say is that she's rude. Facts.
Funny. And I'll do one more and then you can do more.
I love this jacket.
So this is one of my favorite pieces from that. And this is, so those of you that know, I talk about blankets a lot, vintage Pendleton specifically, but another blanket that I've talked about before and I've shown before is a blanket company called Hudson Bay. So Hudson Bay is a blanket company, but they also used the same wool. It's heavy like Pendleton. The same wool to make these jackets, just like Pendleton. They would make these, it's like a competitor of Pendleton. So this is like a vintage, it's probably 70s based on the collar. I'll have to do a little research on that, but it's probably 70s, late 60s, 70s.
I'm like super jealous of this jacket.
A wool field jacket.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun. I love this. Might even be older.
Yeah.
But it's got this big, heavy brass zipper. Again, I'll do some research on labels. I'm just pulling stuff up, and I haven't done any, deep dives on the labels to see how old they are.
Yeah.
But off the top of my head, that's what I think this is. So I love this. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to sell it for. I see a lot of them out there that people sell way, way, way too cheaply. The ones that have several stripes across the front of them do seem to sell for the most. They're longer, and they have like the toggle buttons as opposed to the zipper front, and those do sell for the most, but I do think some people sell these way too cheaply. I'm going to hold out for close to 200 on this.
I think this one's really unique with that stripe on it.
I'd say it's not actually. I've seen quite a few, but I've never run into one in the wild. Yeah. I love them, but again, I'm probably like $150, $200 change.
And I know, I'm focusing a lot more on like, t-shirts and sweatshirts and those that more like streetwear stuff now. But I have in my day sold, especially coming from Oregon, a lot of really cool like wool, old vintage jackets like that, like Pendleton. And so when I see stuff like that, I get really excited. But since I was already sniping all the t-shirts out from under you, I figured I'd let you keep that and not even try to fight for it. It's pretty cool though. All right, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a mixture of stuff that I got from that haul, as well as I also, I finally gave in and traded I think I showed the Coneheads jacket that I had gotten like on a previous haul. I never even listed it, but I did post it on Instagram and stuff, but Barry really wanted it. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead. I've already gotten kind of the fun of being able to show it off a little bit and hang on to it. And I went ahead and traded it to him for a bunch of really cool t-shirts. So some of those are going to be in this haul as well. But this is probably my favorite, one of my favorite t-shirts that I've gotten in the last week.
My face that you just hit.
Sorry.
Is this one from the Clothing Vault?
This is probably the one that I'm most excited about. It's like an XL, 2XL size. It's nice big size. But this is the band Overkill. And you'll see it says 10 years, 1985, 1995. So this was actually from their 10-year anniversary album that they did. It was their first live album they put out. It was a double album.
Overkill is one of those bands they're very heavy and they have a rabid following.
So this t-shirt is specifically for that double live album. And so I don't even know that there were necessarily a lot of these t-shirts that were even made. If it was just a promo, I have no idea how people got this shirt. I do know that other than the old listing, the old like cash listing from the Clothing Vault, this t-shirt, I can't find it anywhere else. There's other Overkill t-shirts, there's other Overkill like merch out there, but this particular t-shirt, cannot find it anywhere. And the really fun part, and I love that the pictures on the Clothing Vault like have part of this t-shirt like covered up, like they're so sweet and nice. Because I'm like, no, I'm putting the whole picture up because this is what the back says. Sorry guys, avert your eyes if you are offended. But yeah, the pictures that are online like have this, like it has like a little asterisk over it, so it's for, it's like edited for, I guess, children to see, but not really, because I mean, come on, look at this giant graphic. They have, if you look at like their other t-shirts that are out there, they have other ones that have the middle finger, but it's smaller and it doesn't say the actual FU on it. It says something else. So there's like another shirt. There are a lot of them, but this particular one, nowhere. And so
it's a fun one.
So this is one, like, I have no idea how much to price it for. I think they had a price for too low. Personally, I plan to sell it for $1 bajillion, but I love it. It's really cool. It's very eye-catching, and I think the right fan out there is going to pay up for it. So
yeah. So let's see. So it's Hudson's Bay, not Hudson's Nay. It's Hudson's Bay. They sell blankets and jackets, and that's they're more well known for blankets. It's similar to a Pendleton company. It's the same type. It's wool. It's the same type of construction. It's probably a Pendleton competitor back in, but Pendleton went more into clothing than Hudson Bay did.
So there were a couple of Grateful Dead t-shirts in there. So this is not like one of the older ones. It's 2004. So some people are starting to feel like 2004 is like sort of vintage-esque. Definitely early mid 2000 stuff is starting to come up in value and stuff like that. This is a liquid blue t-shirt. It's one of the newer tags. I mean, obviously the newer ones are just printed right on the fabric, and those ones aren't really worth much at all. But this is one of the newer tags, but still liquid blue, still an actual tag. It is interesting because it's still single stitch. Both the sleeve and the hem are single stitch. But
vintage adjacent, Sandra says.
Exactly.
Yes. Exactly.
But I think this is, I need to get this listed this week because I think this is because of, we're right in the middle of a very contentious like election season, and there's a lot going on right now politically. I think this is an awesome t-shirt that with the whole, stars and stripes. And then on the back,
Kara's all over that.
Yeah, on the back it says, "Wave that flag, summer 2004." I had to make Vikki feel a little bit better because I got a couple of Grateful Dead t-shirts that she was convinced were like $400 t-shirts. This one's like, I'll sell this one for like $100. It's not, like I said, it's not a 90s one. It's from 2004, but still I could sell it for $100.
I didn't know what year they were when I looked at them very quickly. All right.
I know, but I'm just telling you, I told her, I'm like, it's okay. You're not losing out on a $400 shirt. Now you are with that overkill because I'm telling you, I'm going to sell it for at least $400. But this one I'll sell for I'll try to get $100 out of this one. But I think it's a really cool shirt. So again, it says "Wave that flag, summer 2004." It's great color, nice big size, beautiful shirt, and really big too. It's got to be an XL, 2XL.
Are you trying to sell this in the flea?
This one?
No, you're going 5 minutes is what I'm saying for each description.
Someone asked if we could do a 2-hour haul, and I'm going to go ahead and do that.
We did not bring.
What are you going to do? Because I'm going to talk about it. What are you going to do when we're done with the show? Because you don't have a phone, so you're going to go take a nap or something?
I'm going to list. I'm working today.
I'm kidding.
I don't know where my damn phone is, though.
I'm aware. All right, I'll show you a couple of sweatshirts real quick. A couple of the sweatshirts that I got. This is also from the Clothing Vault. This is the Chicago Bears. I love like how kind of worn and distressed this is. I think it actually looks pretty cool. And this is like a late 80s, early 90s. I would say this is more 80s, late 80s. The Garin tag. I have other NFL sweatshirts like this. But this one I'll probably list for like $70. Super cool. Love the color blocking and everything. It's a good size. What are you laughing at?
Tommy's in Seattle. Girl, I got things to do. Just saying. I'm with you. I do too.
Nope.
It's not going to be 2 hours.
Watch later.
It's not going to be 2 hours.
No, 2 hours just for the whole part.
No.
All right, and then I'll send it back over to you. But then
Kara, I did not check my car from my phone because I was using it in the house and I have not been in my car. I don't know where it is.
Anyway, this is a Superman Many Lives, Many Worlds sweatshirt. So this is from 1987, and what this is from the Smithsonian Institution, the National Museum of American History. In 1987, 1988, they did like they had a whole Superman, what do they call it? Display, exhibit. That's what it is. They had a Superman exhibit in 87, 88, and so this is like one of the one of the things that you could buy. They had like t-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff. So but it was called Many Lives, Many Worlds. So just a really cool little piece of history.
That is cool.
It's not gonna like this isn't like a bazillion-dollar shirt, but I should really get like $70 out of it.
Not on the shelves behind me. This is Katie's office. I haven't even been in here until we sat down to do the show. So no.
No.
And the phone ringer is off as always.
Yeah.
So I did not go to the pool today, Kara. I did not leave my house. The phone is somewhere in this house.
Somewhere in this house. Oh, let me show the other Grateful Dead really quick. This one, now this one's I think is a much cooler one. This is like early 90s. It's a smaller size, which is too bad. But Grateful Dead.
Grizz did eat it.
Huh?
Grizz ate it.
Yeah, I should probably eat your phone. This is a Grateful Dead Okemo Mountain Resort, which is a ski resort in Vermont. And I've seen like a few different t-shirts from there with Grateful Dead stuff on them. Just really cool. It's got the skeleton coming down on skis. Then the back of it shows the mountain, but then it has like a list of all the band members and stuff, and they're all skiing down the mountain. It's a little bit of a smaller size, but I think it's an awesome shirt. And you guys know how I feel about ski t-shirts. So you go ski t-shirt plus Dead on a
what size is the Superman sweatshirt? Bridget asked. I think it's a medium.
I think it's a large. It is, well, it says extra large, but I would say more.
It measures like a large, yeah.
I would say large. But yeah, so this is just a really cool, I would say like early 90s t-shirt that you see shirt text. It's a medium.
I like that one.
I think it's really cool. This one gets me way more excited because it's a ski one, it's older, but it's a cool shirt. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so this was this is a pretty basic looking jacket, but I wanted, like, it's again another satin jacket. There's a lot of them, a lot of satin jackets I got, but this is a vintage Rutgers University satin jacket. So I really like that because Rutgers is one of those colleges that you don't find a lot of swag for. So it's kind of like Syracuse, Rutgers, those are kind of on par with one another, and Syracuse stuff sells really, really well. So does Rutgers stuff. It's for whatever reason, I think it's because there's just not massive quantities of it everywhere. It's not one of the schools that has a ton of sports teams that are super popular, so that tends to replicate the stuff that's out there. So the more rare the stuff is, the better the pricing is going to be on it. So, this one, again, it's not like a $1 million jacket, but I'll probably sell this for the, like, I want to say like $75 to $100 is where I'm going to price it.
Nice.
Let's see. Everything's satiny, so it's all slipping and sliding all over the place while I'm trying to show you. So these I'm going to show. These are so nice. These are gorgeous men's vintage satin smoking jackets. They might be silk, but more satiny. So this is like very
fire with your pipe.
Very Hugh Hefner. Smoking jackets. The difference between a smoking jacket and a robe is usually the length. A robe is very long, like past the knee. Smoking jacket is going to be down to like the thighs, and you've got two pockets in the front. This has no belt.
Your tobacco in there.
Some of them have belts. This one does not have a belt, nor does it have any belt loops. It's just this it's gorgeous, this big wide lapel. It's got the tag that is, it's a Stafford tag, which is hanging on by a thread, literally. But it's just this gorgeous, oh, it does have belt loops, sorry. It has a belt loop on this one. This one does not have the belt with it, but I just love it. Sandra says she needs that to wear to my grotto. As you know, I talk about vintage robes and things like that all the time. Men's and women's, they sell very, very well. I will probably list this for about $150.
Tommy, it's men's.
It's men's.
Sandra, you can put your tobacco in the pocket, or you can get some Big League Chew. Great flavored, preferably.
Now this is a robe. This is another one that I got from the clothing vault. This is just a gorgeous, it's satin, but it has this textured blue swirl fabric. It's showing well, but I don't even know how to tell you like how beautiful this is. It doesn't have a tag, but it's burgundy lined. And this one also does not have a belt. Again, not having the belt is not a deal breaker. You can buy a yard, a yard of thick satin gauze grain ribbon, and you can use that as a belt if you want to sell it with that, or anybody can use that.
Well, both of these, you get black would look just fine with it.
Black would look fine. You can also purchase the long cords that have like the that you'd use as like a drapery cord. If anybody remembers what I'm talking about. So like a long cord that has a drapery cord with a little fringe at the end of it. Those look really great as far as photographing and selling with them too. So I think they're beautiful. This is another one. This one has no brand in it, but that doesn't mean anything. Same pricing, about $150 or so. Let's see. This one is super fun for my 80s people. Look at this. There is nothing that screams 80s more than this jacket. This ski jacket is this bright royal purple. It's looking more blue on the screen, I realize, but it is purple. And it has these neon circle patches all over it. And then the inside has this, you know, zebra print. It's Obermeyer, vintage Obermeyer. It is women's. It is fantastic. This is one, I have a similar one in a different pattern. This will probably be about $125 or so. I might even raise the price a little bit more just because we're starting to get, we're not even into ski season yet. So this is one that I think will sell really well.
For sure.
Coming up in the colder months.
For sure.
You want to do 3 more? Yep.
Yeah. I got some really cool band t-shirts from the Clothing Vault. And let me tell you, there's actually one downstairs that it had a stain in it. I washed it. It had some staining. I washed it. There was still a little stain. I did some special attention to that one spot and got it out. It's 1978 Boston tour t-shirt. It's a really good size, and all the spots came out. It was awesome. But this one is a 1983 Journey t-shirt. And this one's really cool because it's in really nice condition, and it's an extra large. Like I would say it's probably a little bit closer to like a large, but again,
this is one that I would steal to wear.
Yeah. But the thing
is,
80s vintage t-shirts, it's really hard to find bigger sizes, especially like once you get down to the early 80s. So the fact that this is an extra large, and it actually might legitimately be big enough to be considered an extra large, is pretty fantastic. It's in great condition. It's got like, you know, your normal basic wear that is perfect for this kind of a shirt. But it's just an awesome 1983 Journey t-shirt. So pretty. I
love all of the raglan tees. Yeah. All of them. As long as they're big enough to fit the chest.
How about this one then?
I want it. Yep, I like that one too.
It's a ZZ Top 1986 Afterburner Tour. Just an awesome t-shirt. Again, fantastic. It's in really great condition. This is probably more like a large. I don't know what the tag says. Tag says extra large. I would say this is more large by real measurements.
Yeah, I like it because neither one of those are skin tight.
Really good sizing. Like not super tiny. Not super tiny.
So when those disappear,
yeah, it's
because I'm wearing them. You can still sell them. I'll give it up when it sells.
Next week I'll show you guys the Boston t-shirt because it's from 1978 and it's actually like a pretty good size. And once I got the stains out, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
So Tommy asked, do you girls ever wear the clothes while they're listed? I don't. We never do, actually. I do. Katie does occasionally with t-shirts. She's just started doing that. She never used to. I never do because I don't ever buy anything that I would like that would fit me.
Yeah. I have been doing it. And especially with some of the really cool stuff that I've been getting, I'm like, might as well wear it a couple of times and then sell it. So this is one, this is a Queensryche shirt. And I don't know if the List Perfectly girls are still in here. I haven't seen them in the chat in a while.
The Clothing Vault just popped in.
Oh, the Clothing Vault just popped in. I don't see them. Anyway, I think she'll find this interesting. So there's this Queensryche t-shirt that they have. I'm going to show like part of it. And it's like crazy stain. I don't know if this is like paint. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it's like paint or what it is.
It looks like paint. It was
like I'm trying not to show you the whole shirt yet.
Brown paint.
It's all over the sleeve. Pretty bad. And the sleeves were super yellowed. And so it's funny because all of the jackets and all the other clothing, it was like immaculate condition, probably dry cleaned and just perfect. And then some of the t-shirts, I think it's because the nature of t-shirts, it's like you can wash them, but sometimes they really take some extra care. And sometimes they're just beyond what you can possibly do. But the sleeves on this were really yellowed.
Jacob, this one's pre-Jet City Woman.
Yeah. And so I was just like, F it. It's already like the sleeve is so out of control. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in, the whole thing in with the whites that I'm bleaching. And I bleached the crap out of it. So I think Clothing Vault, you're going to be interested to see how this turned out. I think it actually looks kind of cool. So the sleeves were like super yellow and now they're white. It definitely bleached the crap out of the shirt itself. But
it was a burgundy, and it still is, but it's bleached all through the.
So you can see the sleeve still has all that stuff on it. I actually think it enhanced the shirt because I was kind of like, I'm not going to ruin it.
Now it's a destroyed. Now it's a destroyed look.
Yeah, with a sleeve like that, I didn't feel like it was going to matter. So it's just like, it's all kinds of effed up. But I think it looks really cool. So it says Rage Tour 1986, 1987. So sometimes, guys, if you ever come across something where it's just like I said, that sleeve, I can't cut the sleeve off. It's only on one side. But I was like, let's try just bleaching the crap out of it.
If it was a normal long sleeve shirt, or if it were a normal short sleeve t-shirt, cutting the sleeves off and making it sleeveless would look would be great. Unfortunately, this whole baseball raglan style, you can't really do that.
You can, but you would have to like cut it like this, and then that still would leave part of
it wouldn't look
the staining on it.
It wouldn't look good.
I just went, bleach the crap out of it, see what happens, and I think it turned out pretty cool.
Bleach had an extra $30 for the price. It may have, Nature Girl. It may have.
I've been playing around a lot more with bleach, and all of my whites, I pretty much bleach all of them, and I've skipped past the bleach balls, as we call them, the bleach tablets, and now I just get the liquid bleach, and I just pour a crap ton. I don't measure it out. I just pour a crap ton into the washer with it. And Vikki can attest to the fact that it really makes them turn out nice and white.
It really does. And it also makes the house smell like a hospital for, several hours.
All right, but show one more thing. Speaking of 3D emblem, Vikki didn't realize that one of the shirts she was giving up to me was a 3D emblem. It doesn't have like a crazy exciting graphic on the front of it, but
so I literally had a 3D emblem shirt in my hands and did not realize
you'd already given it up to me. Mm-hmm. So this is and it actually, I'll show you why there's a reason that makes sense that I should have this shirt. So it's Harley Davidson, 85 years, 1903 to 1988. And this is a 3D emblem. But what's really cool, guys, is that on the back of it, it is the shop that it's from is Salem, Oregon. And so I grew up in Oregon, south of Portland, and Salem's the capital of Oregon, and it actually is the quote unquote big city. When I was a kid, you would go to Salem to go shopping for clothes and stuff like that. But so I was pretty excited to get this old 3D emblem Harley t-shirt. Love it. So, all right, go ahead.
So I'm just going to show you 3 more things, and I think we're going to be done, right? Do you have?
I have a few more things.
All right.
Show your 3.
Chill out.
You're trying to shut me down, bitch.
Right? I did. I gave up the 3D emblem shirt that was in my hands. It's on my grail. I still have never found a 3D emblem shirt in the wild, although this wasn't quite the wild. This is curated stuff. But anyway, so this is one thing that was that came with a lot of everything. So it's super vintage. It's definitely needs a lot of work. It has a lot of flaws, but it's still worth saving. And that's what I really like about vintage clothing. Vintage clothing does not have to be perfect for it to be worthwhile for someone else to purchase. It doesn't have to be perfect to be worth saving. Vintage clothing, much like vintage anything, vintage and antique, I think that there's a real market for it, in saving it, in rescuing it from a landfill, in repurposing it if you can. There are people that really appreciate vintage items, and I hate to see them lost to history.
It's history.
So, and this is one of them. And this is a vintage, true vintage. This is like 1970s, super. It's like a jacket, but it's like the pullover jacket. It's got fringe all over it. It has the lace up front. It's missing the laces, but what also is, it's got some issues, right? So it's got 1/2 of a belt on one side. It's got lace, it's got like the lace up side, but again, no laces there, which is pretty easy to replace that type of thing. Buying some cord, you'd just buy some Nubuck cord, like shoelaces. But this is where I'm actually going to talk to Crystal, who is my my lister that does repairs for me. It's got a big slit on the side here.
She can fix that.
That I think she can fix. If she has a need, she's got to have a leather leather threader to be able to do it because leather is very hard to do. So if she can fix that, I think that'll be really cool. It's got slits on both sides. So very super hippie, boho, 70s pullover jacket. Greg on the Brady Bunch did wear something similar.
I think that's what he wore. Remember when he moved into the attic?
When he had his attic.
He had like
super
the beads,
cool attic
beads
room.
curtain like hanging. Yeah. And he wore like the sunglasses with like the orange lenses.
Yeah, I just think it's just a really cool piece that can be repaired and can be fixed.
For sure.
So this is one I'm going to work on with Crystal and try to make it, bring it back to where it could be. And I think I'm going to pick up some of those shoelaces to lace up too. And I'll get them in this color, the accent light, natural brown nubuck color. I think I could look pretty good. So,
I just want to say I love that we have Crystal now because she comes every Wednesday.
I don't know.
We do. She comes.
We have Crystal?
Yeah, we do. She comes every Wednesday. I've used her as well. So yes, we have her. She comes every Wednesday to pick up, drop off. And it's awesome because like now when I get stuff, there's certain things like shirts where if t-shirts have holes in them, like they usually I think they add to like the character of a t-shirt, the value and stuff. The part that I don't like is when there's a split in a seam. Mm-hmm. Or like on the sleeve. And so those are actually like easier to fix, but because she's professional at it, it actually looks good when she does it. And I can just pass off. So she came on Wednesday and I had 4 pieces for her. I bought this t-shirt online. It's amazing. And I didn't realize that the whole collar is separated, like this much of it. But she's going to be able to fix that like that.
And it'll be like brand new.
And I don't have to think about it. So,
okay. So another piece, vintage leather biker jacket, motorcycle jacket. Traditional 80s, made in the USA. It's not dead stock, but darn if it's not close because it's broken in, so it's not that super stiff, like brand new leather jacket that you can't move in, but there's really no wear on it. So the best part is that it also has fringe. So this is fantastic. This is a really, really fun jacket. This is one that's probably going to be like a $250 to $300 jacket, in my opinion. I love it, love it, love it. Yeah. Brooks dead stock with flaws. I feel like it's dead stock. I feel like it's, and they would know for sure. But there is a zip out something or other that's missing. So that's why I don't think it's entirely dead stock. There's a zipper in there. It might have had a heavy duty, like Sherpa lining that's no longer there. And then last, I'm going to show one more item. This is another item. This is fantastic. This is one of my favorite pieces. I keep saying that, but because there's so many of them, I really can't choose what my favorite is. But this is a vintage white bomber jacket with the Sherpa hood with all these patches all over it. Now, it's a vintage military flight jacket. It is not as old as it's made to look. This is vintage, probably made in the 80s or 90s. I've got to do a little more research. But it's made to look like a flight jacket from like the 50s. So it's got on the inside, it has like the picture of like that you would have had like a picture of your pinup girl that the flight, pilots would have had in their jacket. And on the back, it's got this, awesome USA thing. It's got like the Navy Seabees on here. It's a patch for the Navy Seabees, also a patch for Top Gun, which is the Air Force. It's like all kinds of stuff on here. I just think it's super cool. It's reminds me of like Top Gun the movie. Mm-hmm. And it's probably when this came out and when it was super popular. Anyway, the Sherpa hood is removable. This is nice and soft and broken in as well. Vented under the arms. These sell for quite a pretty penny. The darker brown ones that look like this sell in the neighborhood of $200 to $300. This white one should sell for about $500 to $600. And I love this jacket. I may wear this jacket this year until it sells, even if it's going to be big on me.
I'll take pictures of you.
I love it.
Everything?
And that's it. Oh, and one thing I want to say before Katie shows her things, did anybody get there? Did everybody sign up for the eBay 25-year celebration? The celebration? Because if you signed up, you should start getting your swag bags. I will say a little weak sauce Sorry, eBay. Usually their swag is really, really good. I think they just had way more people sign up for this than they anticipated. So the swag bag is basically a bunch of stickers and a t-shirt.
Some buttons, I think.
And some buttons. But yeah, and my eBay 25 t-shirt. It's a fun color. I like it.
Nice, nice. All right, I'm going to show real quick. So that Coneheads jacket, Barry really wanted it. I ended up trading him for like 8 or 9 t-shirts. And I'm pretty happy with everything that I got. So what's great is a lot of the stuff that he sent me, they're like nice big sizes because he focuses more on bigger sizes now, which is smart of him. But so Betty Boop, I felt like Betty Boop was kind of meh over the past few years.
Super meh and super oversaturated.
But it's like, it's making a comeback right now in the vintage streetwear world. And this t-shirt in particular should be pretty good. I think I should be able to get close to $100 for it. But yeah, so I traded up for, traded my jacket in for a bunch of t-shirts. This is like a nice big, like 2XL size, Betty Boop, little hearts all over. And so that's one of them.
My swag bag just came yesterday, guys, and it's coming from California. I'm only one state over, so the celebration is on Friday. Everybody's swag bags went out last week, so definitely you should be getting it in the next few days. Yeah. So don't worry about it.
What was great when I was talking to Barry, he was like, do you want like a bunch of mids, which are like mid-range t-shirts, or he's like, or do you want stuff that will be good for the virtual fleet? And I was like, oh, for the fleet, of course, because I'm going on there again next Sunday. So he said, so everything he sent me will be good. Maybe not necessarily for auction, but at least for buy it now prices. Although this one I might auction. This is the tick. So him saying spoon, and it is single stitch, a really good size, and just really cool. It's got like a nice even fade to it. But this one actually might auction off. There are other spoon t-shirts out there, but this is like a lot of them are not vintage. So this particular design is different than the ones I've seen. This is a really awesome Flintstones biker t-shirt. I love that it has the front and the back hit, but you've got Fred and Barney on their
front hit and back hit.
So you got the front big huge graphic, and then the back is them from behind. And it's great. And it's on this changes tag, which I think the changes tag was the one that was sold in like Hot Topic back in the day. But this is a 90s t-shirt, just really cool. Flintstones. The Flintstones are pretty popular in like the virtual streetwear world. Like cartoon stuff is really popular right now.
All the Hanna-Barbera stuff is popular.
And then this really awesome Mickey Mouse Florida t-shirt.
I swear I had something. I swear I had something with this Mickey wearing this outfit on it.
It's super worn and faded, really, really soft, and a nice big size. And the graphics on it are really cool. And it's got the front and the back, and then it's got these side graphics. Can you show that a little bit better? So that one's Where's the Beach? And then this one is a volleyball team. So it's just a really cool t-shirt. I like this one a lot. And again, it's really big and soft and faded. That might be a good auction one too.
Yeah, so we've had about 200 people watching at any given time. If you guys want to give us a thumbs up, that would be great. If you are liking the show. And we're going to be done in just a few more minutes.
Yeah, I have 2 more.
2 more?
Yep. And then
Love Handle hit.
Those were some of the ones that I got from from Barry. I also will watch like the virtual fleet. It's going on today, and every Saturday and Sunday all day. And you know, every session there might be 100, 150, 200 people, just depending. And there's going to be stuff that comes up that the people in the virtual fleet crowd maybe aren't as excited about, and so you can really get some steals on there. So this is one I got from last week. It says Halloween on Mars. This is Space Center Houston. So this is, they have their Mars exhibit there that they've had like since probably like the 80s. And this is just like a really cool Halloween one. I think it's adorable. I think it's really cute. I got this for $50, and it wasn't an auction. It was a buy it now. And he didn't even say what the price was because he kind of went through it really fast. And I saw it and I messaged him and I was like, hey, what was the price on that Halloween on Mars t-shirt? Because he got distracted or interrupted. And so I snagged it. I actually wore this on Tuesday night, but I'll go ahead and sell it. And I'm going to try and sell it for like 100 if I can get it listed this week. Perfect timing for Halloween. It's really cute. It's got the little cartoon Martian guy on it. I think it's a really cool t-shirt. I think I could double my money with it. And then the last thing that I got, this is one I got in an auction. And for whatever reason, the people were not bidding. And I got this for $75. I won the prize. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen this. This is a one of a kind.
LVPinkpeacock.
one of a kind, hand painted, airbrushed. I mean, I'm assuming it's airbrushed, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's airbrushed for sure.
But it's really cool because if you look close, it's like kind of a green tie-dye shirt. And
a Schwarzenegger.
This is the back, and you can see it goes all the way up onto the collar. And it's just really cool. So this is from when he was running for governor. So it would have been like early 2000s, like 2002, 2002, 2003. And the woman was an artist who was a big fan of his. And she made this t-shirt, and you can see he's got the White House is reflecting in his sunglasses. Like he's got his eyes on the White House. And it's just this crazy, really cool shirt. And I got it for $75. This is one of a kind. This is one of those things that, like, if I can get it in front of the right buyer, I should be able to sell it for, I want to sell it for like $300-400. And so really big size.
Cool. I think it's cool.
Single stitch all around. It's on the Juanita tag. Made in the USA. Yeah, it's a 2X. So it's a crazy cool shirt. I love stuff like this because it's basically vintage. I know it's like a couple years off from that mark. So what do we call it?
Vintage adjacent. Well, that's a new term. We're gonna use that, Sandra. That's a good one. Vintage adjacent.
Vintage adjacent. It's adjacent. It's movie memorabilia because it's kind of like the Terminator. You can see
it's very pretty. His whole head is like
right on you. I've actually washed this, so it's not dirty.
Right,
it washes really well. It's a great whatever they use to paint it is really nice because it's not faded or anything. But I love stuff like this because it's like history. It's like this crazy.
He does look better on this shirt than in real life. He's looking a little bit rough these days. He's old. He's finally hit that wall. He hit that wall where he's you know.
But I posted this on Instagram and I actually tagged him because he does respond to people sometimes. I was hoping he would see it and think it was really cool. But anyway, I love it. The Governator, as I would say, as people say. But I think it's really cool. I love it. This is probably one of my favorite things I've picked up in a long time just because it's because there's nothing else out there like it. There isn't another one. Nobody else has this. Nobody else has this. Nobody else. And so I got it for $75 because, like I said, people were sleeping on the virtual flea, and I got it, and it's mine now. So, all right. Anyway,
that's it.
That's it, guys.
That's it.
We did go a little long, almost 2 hours today, but we had some good stuff to share.
Yeah,
I had a lot of talking to do.
Katie does not know how to describe anything in 2 sentences.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. Okay, so back off, woman.
My curse.
Whatever. People like it mostly. Sometimes. Anyway, thanks guys so much for coming and hanging out with us. We will be back next Sunday. There's a couple other pieces that I got from the clothing vault that I'll show next week as well. Probably you too, because you have.
Oh, I will probably be showing stuff from the clothing vault for the next 2 weeks on the shows. I would say
because you already sent off like 3 bins.
I sent off about 100 pieces with Crystal on Wednesday, and I still have 3 Z-racks full. Yeah, and nothing's been listed yet, so getting there.
So I have a few. Anyway, but yeah, we'll see you next week. And like I said, the spreadsheet that Teresa made for us that we use for our numbers at the beginning of the show, that is in the Boss Facebook group in the files section. So if you're not in the group, you should be. And if you are in the group and you want that, that's where you're going to find it. But we appreciate you.
Everybody have a great week. We appreciate you as always. I'm so glad to see Cherry or Leah that owns Gracie's Vintage in Kingman, Arizona. We brought her onto the show now and gave her the information on List Perfectly last weekend. She's already signed up and cross-posted 100 items. So we're in there buying some vintage last weekend, and now she's cross-posted her stuff on List Perfectly. So I think that's pretty awesome. I hope it works out for you, and I totally know that you're going to see an uptick in sales. It's going to be it's going to be good for you.
For sure.
So,
all right, guys, thank you so much. We will talk to you later. Get to work, or we're going to go get back to work, and you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend or do whatever you're going to do. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever.
I don't know.
Maybe I'll go have a snickety snack. You can't stop me. Actually, we're probably going to have to go look for your phone some more because somebody lost their phone, and that's probably what the rest of our day is going to be, is me looking for the phone and her crying. So that's going to be about it. All right.
Yes.
Ready to tackle that?
All right.